It's that time of the week again where I'm going to give you an update on the stock market and an update on my $100,000 challenge. I'm recording in a different environment right now. It's been a crazy week, crazy weekend, but I have to get it out. So every week I put this out there, so I still wanted to put it out there. So let's just get into it right away. So this is the stock market update. What's been going on? The S&P 500 is up 2% since June 2nd, and it's up 23% since March 30th. So the S&P 500 is doing great. It's actually at all-time highs. The NASDAQ is not. It's still down 1.5% since June 2nd. It's up 28% since March 30th. So it is doing very well, not reaching all-time highs, but still pushing there. AAII Sentiment Investor Survey. So this is the survey a lot of investors take, and as you can see, the bulls are kind of in around the historical average, but the bears are well above. It's 6% above. So we still have a lot of bears in the market, but it has also gone down. It used to be 42%. Now we're at 37. Historical average is at 31 though. So we're still up 6% on the bears, which is fine because bears help keep a bullish market, just steady, I guess. The fear and greed index, we're at a greed. And as you can see, a week ago, we're in greed. A month ago, we were fearful. And then a year ago, we were also greedy. So I'm not really scared of greed or fear. It's more when we hit extreme fear or an extreme greed is where it gets a little bit dicey. So we're still not in extreme greed. So we could still move up from here. Definitely. We almost hit a 10% correction, but we didn't really hit it. So I still think we're going to push a little bit further into, possibly into the end of August, and then September could be a bad month. And then once we start getting votes going for midterms, that might help. Anyway, that's just where we're at right now. Last week's news, the cooling CPI and PPI inflation, it was pushing expectations for near-term Fed rate hikes further out. So now, people think, okay, maybe the Fed won't raise the rate. S&P 500 hits all-time highs, like we just said, and then the consumer spending dip, consumer caution despite lower gas prices and stabilizing broader market conditions. So people are not spending as much as they were. Next week's news, we have the federal FOMC meeting minutes, so a lot of the investors are going to be looking at those minutes and figure out if there's a balance between sticky core inflation and a slowing labor market. We also have global flash PMIs, which will show whether business activity and demand are holding up or softening mid-quarter. And then the housing market, which is obviously very important, it's going to gauge the interest rate sensitivity across core domestic sectors. So how much is the interest rate affecting homes and mortgages, right? So that's going to be a good thing to look at. We have some earnings. We have Home Depot, Target, TJX, Lowe's, Walmart, Ross. This is a very retail consumer heavy week. So we should be getting a better look on how the consumer's doing, how, just the environment and the economy, in a sense, but it's now we're moving on from tech. Nvidia still has to come up, but we are moving on from tech and moving on now to more of these consumer retail earnings. So my $100,000 stock market challenge week 63. So let's get into this. $10,502.15. So I went down a little bit from last week, but as you can see, one of the big reasons was HIMS. HIMS went down 10%, and it is a big part of my portfolio. So it's actually number 2 in terms of how much I have invested into it. And so, HIMS took down my portfolio. Celsius helped a little bit, as well as TQQQ. So both of those being up for the week helped. But HIMS being down almost 11% really hurt me. But as you can see, the 1 week performance was okay. I still want to build on Netflix. I wish I had put more in at 71 first, but again, I put in $50 every week. So my goal is really to be as realistic for other people who aren't looking at the market every single day, who don't want to just invest a big chunk of cash, want to invest slowly over time and consistently. So that's what this is. So I have to maintain that. So I'm gonna be putting in like another 50 maybe towards Netflix this week. Obviously, I still wanted to build up my ServiceNow, my Salesforce a little bit more. Um, right now, my Salesforce, I have basically built to where I want it. I'm at about $900 invested. ServiceNow, I'm only about $600 invested, which I want about $1,000 invested. But ServiceNow is up 20% from my cost base. So I don't know if I want to put too much more into it. I still think ServiceNow though has some room to run. So maybe I'll look for a week or two of some weakness and buy into that. But as of now, I want to build at least $500 in Netflix. If I can get $500 each in one of these stocks, and then continue to buy on weaknesses on these stocks, I'm okay with that. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 9 stocks total. I want to keep it to about 10. So I will probably sell MU when it hits about 12, 13, maybe 1500. I don't know if it will, but that's when I do plan on selling MU. I do not want to hold MU for the long term. All of these other stocks I will. TQQQ, HIM, Celsius, Meta, Amazon, ServiceNow, or Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Netflix, I could see myself holding on for at least 5 years, 5 to 10 years. MU, I don't know if I could hold for 5 years, definitely not 10 years. So that's the one that's going to be out of the portfolio eventually, but as you can see, it's one of the best gainers that I have. So that's that. I made no purchases this week, no buys. I just invested the $50. Like I said, it's been a crazy week for me. Week 63. So the goal was 12,000 or is $12,690.62. So I'm off about 2,000, almost $200. Though for the week, I didn't really move at all much, right? I went down 0.24%. I went down $25. It was nothing. So going against the goal, I'm down 17%. Since June 2nd, I'm up 42, almost 43%. But if you take away all my $50 deposits that I've made, just all my deposits, we're looking at negative 8%. So this is why it really matters to deposit every single week, and why I said I'm making this challenge for people who want to invest every week but don't really care to look into the stocks. You find a stock that you find a stock that is weak, that has a good company, good business behind it. You invest into it consistently, and then you move on from there. So that's what I'm doing with ServiceNow, Salesforce, Netflix. That's what I'm doing. Amazon, Meta, I had already built. Celsius, HIMS, I had kind of already built. I have built up more of those positions. But like ServiceNow, Salesforce, Netflix, those are the companies that, again, I'm just kind of investing in consistently over time, $50 deposits. And so, as you can see, it's a big difference. It's literally a 50% difference. If I had not put any of those deposits in, my portfolio would look trash. It would look so much more trash than it does today, right? I'm actually up 42%. And without my deposits, I'd be down almost 9%. That's crazy. Now, when I started the challenge, it doesn't mean I'd be down on my money. It just means that I'd be down on when I started this challenge, which was June 2nd, 2025. I had already built a HIMS position with a very low cost basis. Same thing with Celsius. Both of those stocks were going up. They were pretty high at that time. And so now, over a year later, both of those stocks have not performed nearly as much as I'd like them to have. I do believe they have long-term potential, but in the last year, it really didn't do what I wanted it to do. In fact, it did the opposite. So my portfolio looks pretty trash right now, but I do believe over the next 5 to 10 years, this portfolio is going to be built so well, and I'm going to surpass that $100,000 mark for sure. It's just how fast can we get there? That's the thing, right? So again, right now, $10,500. The goal is about $12,700, but the goal really is $100,000. We're gonna get there eventually. Once HIMS and Celsius takes off, God, this portfolio is gonna go crazy. Yeah, as you can see, crazy week for me, right? So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm like I said, I'm in a new, not a new environment, but I'm just in a different environment tonight. Just trying to get this done. If you are still watching, if you had all watched this on a consistent basis in any way, shape, or form, I really appreciate it. For me, even though I'm not in my normal environment with my microphone and my good camera and all this stuff, I don't feel pressure, but I do. I have put a little bit of pressure on myself to ensure that I put these out every week. It's keeping me accountable for my what I'm doing, right? My results. I don't want to be someone who just preaches certain things and doesn't show my own account. I'm not going to tell people I think that this stock is a buy and then not buy it. I mean, I've done that for like I like Sprouts. I thought it was a buy, which when I said it was a buy, you'd be up right now. But I didn't buy Sprouts, right? So I'm not like trying to preach Sprouts too much. I definitely preach Celsius, Hims, Netflix, ServiceNow, Salesforce, all that stuff, right? I preach those a little bit, so I'm putting my money into it. And so I like to show people, hey, this is what you could do, this is what I'm doing. And again, this whole challenge is for people who want to make consistent deposits. Every week you put $50, $100, whatever it is. You don't want to do a lot of investing and research. Find a stock that is weak, that has a strong business behind it, and then continue to invest week after week after week. And that's kind of what I'm basically doing, right? I've been doing research, obviously, but I've just been just consistently buying every week. I mean, obviously this last week I didn't buy, but next week I will. So yeah, it's just one of those weeks. It's been crazy. Kids about to go to school, so yeah, it's been a crazy week, but I'm getting this video done no matter what. I wanted to before I do this, usually I do like a story of a stock or something like that, and I was actually going to do like a Hims versus Celsius. I think that's going to be a great video to do because I think Hims versus Celsius, they've performed very similar over the last almost a year, and they both have risks and potential rewards. And so I'm going to do that for the next one. I was going to do it for this, but I just wanted to quickly get it out. Stock market update, my $100,000 challenge update. And again, please give me a like and subscribe if you can. Excuse me, give me any kind of feedback, constructive criticism, whatever it is. Let me know what you're investing in, and yeah, let's keep it going. All right, so that's the end of this one. I'll see you back in my normal place here soon, but until then, never forget to
earn it, save it, invest it, buy low, sell high. I want assets, not liabilities, and you can count on compounded interest.